Okay, guys, a pleasant good night and welcome once again to another edition of our Zoom calls. It's good to have you on the call. I see USA is in the house. Good to have you, Callie and Pope. Always a pleasure to have you here. And for people in Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and if you are joining us from any other part that I didn't mention, feel free and just type it in the text box and I will give you the necessary shout outs. Would you believe today is the 23rd of December? Yes, it's the eve before Christmas Eve. And this is our last of this week. We're not going to be having any more Zoom calls for this week until after the Christmas season, when next week, which is the day before All Year's Day, we will do our final episode for 2019. So still stay tuned for that next week, Monday. But tonight is our final for this particular week as we move into the Christmas season. So I just want to welcome all our participants. It's good to have you guys on the call. And first of all, I want to thank you for all your participation in 2019. We started this run the last quarter, the ending of September, where we decided that we really needed to do this Zoom cast so that we can really educate as much persons within the Caribbean and further afield. And we are so glad that you decided to participate along this journey. And 2020 is definitely going to be a fantastic year for each and every one of us, and for those of us who made the commitment. So I just want to welcome our panelists tonight. We have Mr. Michael Amann and King Carlos is going to be joining us. Welcome, gentlemen. Good to have you on the call. All right, I'm going to unmute your mic.
Pleasant good night, everyone. It's an awesome opportunity once again to be here.
Yeah, pleasant good night to everyone as well too. And
So,
again, it's always a pleasure to have all of you here.
So, gentlemen, there's a lot to cover tonight, and we are just bursting with all the excitement that would have transpired in Madrid 2019. So, without further ado, I know there's going to be a lot of information. So, let's get right into it in terms of some of the most pressing things that you really want to discuss. And it's really an open forum. So, if you do have questions, guys, feel free and just type it in the chat box, and we can definitely give some clarification. So, King Carlos, how are you today? How's been your day so far after all the information that's been shared over the weekend, sir?
Wow. I feel like I'm in Spain. It's really awesome opportunity. A lot of information, a lot of things that are coming in the near future. A lot of developments taking place. It's been pretty intense, and we just been taking a few days to just feel out and get a grip on the exact whole journey. But we're not surprised because we understand that what Cardbars is doing is on the cutting edge of technology and development. And it's just really, as you said, it's so important that we be educated, because the reality is that if we don't keep up, we can get left behind. And so it is so important for us to take this information and really now just digest it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Mike, I want to invite you for your opening comments in terms of what was your initial reaction after hearing some of the important updates, the exciting updates thus far over the weekend. What was your take on that, Mike?
I had to go and look for pieces of my brain that was scattered around the floor after my mind was blown.
Right.
Yes, it was really mind blowing. Some to know the direction that the company is heading, and it was truly way above and beyond. While we had great expectations, especially as we saw the trend moving into secure phones and laptops last year, we were wondering what next. I was saying that this company was going to take us to the sky, and actually, so said, so done. We are actually going out of orbit, out of this world, seriously. And as we go through the updates tonight, I think those of us who were not aware of the updates and the presentations will get to understand why my mind was blown and why we are going out of this world. Yeah, so
All
it's
right,
really
gentlemen.
amazing.
gentlemen. So if you need to share your screen, feel free. King Carlos, if you want to go first and share some of your information on your screen, go right ahead. So tell me, King Carlos, in terms of the updates that was mentioned in when we hear about satellites being launched in partnership, what does that say as it relates to Mr. Harold Seitz, as it relates to the vision of Carrot Bars? What does that actually mean in the greater scheme of things? I mean, we would have heard that in the euphoria of the excitement in Madrid. What does that really mean as I carve the beginning of this introduction for you guys? What does that really mean in the greater scheme of things?
But what it means is that we are growing. It means that we are making an impact in the marketplace globally. And we small islanders in Trinidad, but more so just persons in general, have an awesome opportunity to get in on the action. As I always say, we have a window of opportunity, and this is indeed what this is. It is a window, and we are to take full advantage of this window, as it is in these early stages, because what it means is that for early participators, or as the old saying says, the early bird catches the fattest worm. We can indeed become sharers of the fat worm.
So, what does this all mean going forward? Would you say that those of us in the community that did not participate in the way that they should have participated, meaning they would not have acquired as much KCBs as they maybe should have possibly acquired, what would be the consequences moving forward for those persons that we are actually addressing that possibly need to really see this in a bigger light, knowing that they would have actively participated already?
It means that if they didn't do what they're supposed to do, if persons didn't do what they're supposed to do, they will have a challenge. In one, they will have to play catch up. I don't know how much of a catching up they can do when there are certain closures that are taking place or certain opportunities. But what it also means is that those of us who did get in, we have to expand our vision. We have to expand our foresight and see where the company is heading and understand our part and our role in the journey. Those who did not have the opportunity to really fully participate, or perhaps was on the sidelines and watching to see something happen before they get involved, they have a lot of catching up to do if they can at all in some aspects.
So what you're basically saying is that in some aspects, as far as the crypto component is concerned, that ship may possibly would have been sailing a little while now, at least a couple of days now. That ship would have sailed, but at the same time, with that being said, there is still an opportunity and hope to still participate in this great opportunity. Is that what you're saying right now?
Well, there's always hope. There's always hope, and there's always opportunity as long as we see and grasp it. Like for example, the simple principle of saving in goal every week and every month and twice a week, how many times you can, is an awesome opportunity in itself, which is basically the foundation and the foundational vision and mission of the company, in all its ways, that we can have the ability to save and goal, and we have that opportunity still. That has not been lost. That is still there, and it's something that we can still benefit from even as we go forward in the future.
So for all our participants listening on this call tonight, the important points to take away so far in terms of what you're saying, King Carlos, is the importance of saving continuously in goal, because saving in goal is not a one-off thing. It's a lifestyle. It's an attitude change. So
Yeah, and
so
it's
what
not
you
a card bars thing. It's a practice that we should develop, just as we save our 25 cents pieces every time we go to the shop. So it is as a habit as that, like that. That, and has nothing to do necessarily with card bars, but it is a lifestyle decision. And card bars has just been the given us the opportunity to really make that a reality.
So, Mike, I want to bring you in on this part of the conversation as we are getting ready to get into our updates. Uh, would you say that, of course, as far as gathering the cryptocurrency part of the opportunity may possibly would have sailed already, but the importance of saving continuously in gold in 2020 is of absolute importance. Would you agree with that?
Oh, it is of absolute importance. And in fact, just today, I was reviewing a video on one of the independent economic reviewers, and they were looking at the economic factors taking place right now in the United States and worldwide, for that matter, with regard to the price of gold. Right now, it is severely undervalued. And the price of gold, they have shown through different ideologies can actually raise from between $5,000 an ounce to, believe it or not, as much as $100,000 an ounce based on the
Hmm.
trends. And right now
Wow.
it is at 1,500 an ounce, right? So it also underscores the importance too. Not only is it the fact that gold is actually appreciating, but it also shows how we are on the verge of the dollar depreciating heavily. If we look at what's happening right with our neighbors in the Caribbean, Venezuela, their currency had been devalued so much that it actually at one time, when it would have taken, let's say, $5,000 or $6,000 of their currency to get an ounce of gold, it actually went up into the millions when it hit a hyperinflation. So what happens when our currency hits hyperinflation? We cannot depend on our paper dollars. Saving in gold must be a habit. It is a habit of the rich. We speak about the wealthy would have normally kept in their portfolio some form of precious metals they would save. And we, the lower class or the middle class, so-called, keep saving in paper, which is losing value. So yes, saving in gold is a must. And in fact, I spoke to my daughter today. She just started a little job, and I spoke to her. She's 17, she's going on 18. And I said, as part of a saving habit, you must save at least some of your savings in gold as well. So yes, I agree. This is very much fundamentally important.
But
And
but
it's
Michael,
Yeah.
mhm.
but Michael, my new $100 is polymer. It's not paper, so it have more value.
You
That's
know.
true. Now here's another test that I just shared with someone else. You take that paper or you take the polymer and you burn it. What is the ending result? It's nothing. So
Hmm.
it's not a store of value in any case.
Oh, okay.
We should have savings in a form of value. You take gold, you set it afire, and it is still there. That's
Wow,
one key component to think about when we're looking to
wow,
save.
that's great.
So I'm glad that you guys actually mentioned that, and I'm just going to share one very important point for those of us who may not have read the report today that I've posted out in the group, that China is going to
Mhm.
be leading the pack as far as blockchain, and that's the reason why China has been so anti-Bitcoin and
Yep.
anti-cryptocurrency, because they are
Mhm.
now looking to now take the lead and establish now early 2020. It's now reported that they will be coming out with their E1, and that's going to
Mhm.
be, according to recent information, China's E1 will roll out in the early 2020, and it will be very cautious, meaning the government, and they are going to be focusing in terms of their economy, in terms of consumer spending. And what does that mean? It means now that the E1, once it's rolled out, will be the world's first digital sovereign currency to exist. And when we look at the comparative numbers of China versus the United States, they're creeping up as being one of the largest economies other than the United States thus far. So they are definitely going to be creating some waves with this E1 coming in 2020. And now that's going to put more pressure on the United States dollar. And because all other currencies are now pegged to the US dollar, like ourselves in the Caribbean, we could see a sharp fall in the overall purchasing power, which already occurring right now anyway, and hence the importance for gold. So, gentlemen, go right ahead in terms of casting your dice in terms of the updates so far. That I think all of us are really looking for some further clarification as it relates to what has happened on Saturday, back in Madrid. All right, so go right ahead, guys.
Okay. I would allow King Carlos to proceed first. Of course, we have a snapshot on the screen on privacy is the new order. What updates did we get concerning the phones? Or Carlos, do you have? Well, that was Larry's screen.
Yeah.
Larry's screen. Carlos, you
Yeah.
sharing your
So
screen?
yes, I am. I hope
Okay.
so. You're seeing
Yes,
it? All right.
it's being shared right now. I should be seeing
Great.
it popping up very soon, Carlos.
Okay. Great. So Madrid updates 2019. Well, before we even go into Madrid, we had some little excitement before pre Madrid last week, where we had a evaluation made, or a decision made, as to the official exchange rate of our KCB coins. We were purchasing profit packages for a period of time. It was supposed to have ended September. We got an extension. It came to December, and everyone was waiting with bated breath to see what the exchange rate would be like. And we're not going to go into the logistics or the fine details. You can find all that in your back office, in your downloads, as to how they have come about to the deciding what the exchange rate would be. And this is regarding the hard fork uh, of the coin, the KCB coin to the KBC. And so we have with us, we have now let me just put that screen up. Yeah, so we have now the exchange rate is now, if you have KBCs, it's 1-to-1, and if you have KCBs, every one KCB will give you 2.54 KBCs. Let me say that again. So every KCB, you can now exchange it for 2.54 KBCs. So if you had 100,000 KCBs, it will now be equivalent to 254,000 KBCs. And
Wow. Wow.
this is awesome. This is awesome.
Yes, so what you're saying is that we have more than double the amount of coins we have if we.
That's right. That's right. That's right. More than double the amount of coins. And as I'm on that topic, I just want to revert back to something I said a few weeks ago in a presentation, when I spoke about price versus value, or versus worth. Sometimes we look at the price of a thing, but we don't look at the worth of a thing, and or the real value of a thing.
That's
And
quite right.
so it's important to establish that point, because persons will say, well, I look at the KBCs, the price is very low. But you're looking at the price. If you look at the value and the worth of the KBC coin, is not based on present market conditions. I'm sorry. It's based upon the ecosystem that's been put in place to now allow a machinery to run that will generate and skyrocket the KBC coins, so that you, who would have benefited from a growth, if you had 100,000 KCBs and was hoping to just have that in KBCs, because it's double and a half, you could actually now have double and a half amount more value, even when it increases in value to the great levels that we expect it to go to.
Wow, that's fantastic.
you know so this is something that just really came off the thing, and everybody is like, okay, well, let's see what's going to happen. How do I get my KBCs, my KCBs into KBCs? What do I have to do? And what is involved in the process, and is indeed a process. It's important to understand that anything that deals with, not just in the crypto world, but in just markets in general, in financial or otherwise, it takes a process of time, right? And time actually adds value to things, right? Particularly when they're dealing with gold, as you just heard Michael said. So the idea is that over time, your growth is going to take place. So this is why it's so important for us, and I'll bring Larry in this talk here, that we educate people, and we have persons understanding that you're not living life for the now. You're living life, and you're putting things in place for the future, for the next 24 to 48 months, right? So we have to put things in place. And so there's a simple process, and I know, Mike, you wanted to do a live demonstration of how we can do this conversion from KCBs to KBCs.
Yes, of course.
But
Before I do that, of course, in fact, I would leave that to the end of the presentation, of
okay,
course.
okay, great.
Uh,
Because
uh,
I'll just show some slides. I have some straight shots here
Go
that
ahead.
I can show you. Like for
While you
example, go ahead.
No, while you're bringing up the screenshot, one of the things I wanted to again reemphasize to folks is that while we're talking about the exchange, this is not an exchange of the ERC20 KCBs to ERC20 KBCs. What I mean
That's right.
by that is this: when
That's right.
our coins were first released, of course we did not have an exchange as yet, and we needed to have cryptos out there. So we had actually utilized a feature of the Ethereum blockchain, which allows smart contracts. And many companies which are introducing coins actually use Ethereum for this purpose. We introduced it on the Ethereum blockchain. So the KBC was introduced on the Ethereum blockchain as an ERC20 token. The same thing was done with the KCB. Now, of course, we have our own exchange, the Carrotbit exchange, and we have our own blockchain as well. Our blockchain is not ERC20 Ethereum. It is the CarrotNet blockchain or mainnet blockchain, as we call it. So when we are moving our coins on that blockchain, the resulting coin that we have will be called KBC, but it is not ERC20 KBC. So of course, the KBC ERC20s that we have from before, the Carrot Gold coin, will be moving to Carrot Gold coin on mainnet. The KCB ERC20 will be moving to KBC mainnet. So the price for the KBC, although we talk about the ERC20 KBC being at 2-3 cents right now, we don't know what the value of the new KBC will be as yet. We will know that after the 4th of January.
That's important.
Right?
That's important to know, Michael.
That's very
That
important
is
to
so
know.
important
Yeah.
to know. You know, because people could
Yeah.
get frantic and be emotional about this thing, but we cannot be emotional. We
Yeah,
have to.
correct.
And
So,
I was teach that in the class. You know, it can't be emotional about these things.
yep, exactly. So we just have to know the facts, and of course, we're going to look at the process to do the conversions from KCB to new KCB. And in fact, when you do the conversion, you will notice that, anyway, I would leave that part to you and I will explain further about the pending
Yeah.
status. But so go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So what I was just going to point out there is that Carrot Bars is not the first to actually do this kind of hard fork or to have changes where we move from a ERC20 basis to another blockchain basis. There are a number of cryptos that do that as well. The USDT, Tether, also has a ERC20 USDT. It has a Omni USDT. And there's several USDTs that operates on different blockchain systems, right? So we are not the first and only one to do it. This is actually part of the process that's involved in any hard fork of any coin. So the Carrot Coin Bank coin, as you see on the screen there in your Carrotbit account, you will see now the emergence of two new buttons underneath. One says exchange and the other says voucher. I'll point to that one in a while. And then you're going to see a tab on top called, after your wallet and balance, KYC history, KCB nodes, KBC nodes, vault, you'll see KCB conversions, right? And so now you can now go to the Carrot Coin Bank coin, and all you have to do is click exchange. This drop down box will come up, this menu will come up here. And in this menu, you just put in the amount of KCBs you want to exchange, and it will tell you how much it will transfer. So this account here says this person had a 1.1 million KCBs, and after the exchange, he had 3 million KBCs. Wow. So that and then what will happen after this? That after you click exchange KCB, it will then go into the place called KCB conversions, and it will stay there in pending mode until the 4th of January. After that, when the determination of how much KBCs and the valuation of the KBCs will be at that time. So we're excited, people. I am excited when just even talking about this, you know. And so this is so important to see. Now the company, as you know, gave us two options. It gave us the option one was either convert our KCBs to KBCs and using the platform of the exchange that is before you, using just what I explained, or the other option of converting your KCB coins into IPO shares, GSB, Gold Standard Bank, initial public offering shares that would be rolled out over the period of time where those shares will have particular valuations as well, and your KCBs, because it's converted to shares, will carry its own valuation. So that's another stream, another route of generating income, not just from being a holder of a coin, but also being a holder of shares in the bank, you know. So
So is that what that I see a button next to exchange saying voucher. What does that relate
that's
to?
it. That's it. So that button voucher is where now I'll do the same process. I'm going to click generate value voucher based on how much KCBs you would have in your account remaining. And it's going to generate a
Oh,
voucher that will then also go into the KCB conversion section. And when you do it live, Mike, I would hope that they will be able to see that tab, what it looks like, what's on the inside. Didn't get a screenshot on that. But the thing is that your KCBs will now become IPO shares or pending IPO shares. And as I understand, what will happen is that a certificate will be generated for you. And that certificate, of course, will be that evidence of your shares and the holding of your shares. But that's something that's going to be rolled out even proceeding or following after January 5th and so forth. Right? So just to reiterate, uh, the Gold Standard Bank, we KBCs will have its one-to-one value based on the KBCs that you have in your account, and your KCBs will now be 2.54 KBCs to 1 KCB. That's 154% KCB increase on your holding. Yeah,
that's amazing.
right.
Amazing.
Right. So I'm gonna leave this a little bit, but this is very pretty straightforward. And as Mike will show you, it's gonna take about 3 seconds to do. Right. What I do advise though persons and people on the call tonight is you want to make educated decisions and you want to plan your portfolio. You want to plan your portfolio, and this again is the education aspect of things. You want to plan your portfolio so that you can make a wise decision when doing your decision making and your conversions and so forth. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah. Just jumping back a little bit though.
mm-hmm,
We're talking about just before Madrid, and then we're talking about IPOs and shares
mm-hmm.
and vouchers. I don't know if everyone may understand what we're talking about here. But what is the GSB? What does the GSB stand for?
The GSB is the Gold Standard Bank, and it was launched, I believe, in Frankfurt earlier this year. And the Gold Standard Bank is a partnership that is in partnership with Cardbars International, and is a holder of the mines overseas, the Carrot Bit, I believe, and
Right.
they are the holders, and is run by the chairman, Joseph Haidt, who we would have seen in Madrid on the videos talking in his Spanish accent, and we would have seen him, you know.
Right. I think actually the Gold Standard Bank too has become so important and so strategic to the current buzz on and or what we call the KB universe or ecosystem is that
Mm-hmm.
it is central, because of course if we look at our systems, right, we have a unit of exchange, we have gold, we have crypto, we have an exchange where we can have our wallets, where we can save. We have We have where we can also convert from one type of crypto to another. We
Mm-hmm.
have the K merchants where persons can actually use that same unit of exchange to purchase goods and services. Now, where do we save all of this? We must have it in some form of a banking system. And it's
That's
through the
right.
banking system that we will actually have that link to fiat currency.
That's right.
Now, what if we have this banking system go public? What isn't that huge?
Of course, it's huge. Of course, it's
Wh-
huge. How many of us are part of a bank, shareholders in a bank? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I know that many of us may be in banking systems, and of course, this is just speaking factually. This is not against the bank. This is just how the business is, and the bank gets a
Mhm.
lot of profits. But
Yep.
the profits are then shared with their shareholders,
Oh
right?
yes. Oh yes.
Mhm.
Oh yes. And I was
So
remember.
what if? So
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
no, go ahead. No, you
No,
go ahead. What you reminded of?
I just reminded of my upline Marlon, who always talks about Facebook. And if we ask how many people on Facebook, everybody will be everybody will be boastful of how they're on Facebook and how they have a Facebook account. But ask if how many have Facebook shares. It's the same
That's
concept.
true. That is true. Now, there are some persons who actually do investing, and I would speak the straight word investing. That's it. They would take their funds and they would purchase some stocks or shares in a
Yep.
company, and based on the profitability of the company, the company would then share, those who have the shares, of course, share in that profit. So
Hmm.
here, and and what if we were there at the point in time when shares were first introduced? I understand that when a company is issuing shares, it does not initially go out to the first to John public.
That's
First
right.
issue
That's right.
shares generally goes to the whales or the sharks, as we call them, the whales rather, the high value
Interests.
investors. Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And that's
and
us.
and and I understand that, and that's us, right? So these shares that we have the option, or pre-IPO shares, if we may call it that, because we're not at the 4th of January as yet, but
Hmm.
we are the recipients of those first issue shares
Hmm.
before it truly goes public. How
Yes.
often would we be in a situation, and I would use the word opportunity like
Hmm.
that?
Yeah.
Talk
Oh yeah.
about being in the right place and the right time. How many
Hmm.
persons wish they were there when they had a chance to get shares in Republic Bank when it was first introduced? That
Hmm.
which is one
Hmm.
of the banks in Trinidad and Tobago or one of the other countries. And when the bank talks about the profitability, we complain. And again, comes down to mindset. We complain because we
Hmm.
say the bank is taking our money, they're taking service charges and service charges and interest on our transactions, and that's how they get the profits. But if we were
Yep.
to think with the proper mindset, we can know, hey, if we have shares in the company that makes this
Hmm.
profits, we can also share in those profitability as well. We have an
Yes.
opportunity to do so with this. This is a brilliant move by Harold Seitz and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And what this also does is it flips the script. What do I mean by that? It's time to flip the script, people. What I mean is that now you're on the other side of it. You have an opportunity to be a shareholder
that's
in a bank, and a new opportunity, but a bank that is already carrying a certain amount of securities and already also attaining more assets, as we see with the acquisition of a third gold mine in Brazil, and continuing solidifying the ecosystem that's built on a solid foundation of gold. So you get to be a part of a more stable system, banking system, than even what's out here in the stock market.
correct. And I think one quick thing before we start to go into some of the other Madrid updates as well is that if you notice what we have been speaking about concerning the the keeping of our wealth, the storage of our wealth, we are talking about a portfolio here. Through the
Yep.
ecosystem, we can have our wealth in the form of gold, in the form of crypto, and as
Mhm.
well as
In
shares.
stocks. Yes,
Our
yes, I love
ecosystem
it.
allows us to have that portfolio. Yeah, we have a portfolio within our
Yes,
ecosystem.
yes,
Some
yes,
persons
yes.
may ask the question, okay, so how much should I put towards shares? What?
Mm-hmm. Hello? Hardly here.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
What?
breaking up. Yeah.
Yeah,
So the
sorry.
question, is, I didn't hear a question
There are
totally.
some persons who may ask. There are some persons who may ask, okay, so how much
Mm-hmm.
shares should I buy? Should I put all of my KCBs to shares, or should I
Mm-hmm.
put all my KBCs to shares?
Okay.
To all my KCBs to KBCs.
I'll answer that the way I answered someone today who asked me that very same question. And I will start with saying that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not qualified in terms of giving
Correct.
financial advice, but this is just my personal decision based on my own experience, research, study, and education in making financial decisions. And what I would say based on that is that I'm doing what personally a 3-to-3 ratio setting for me. What does that mean? It means that I'm going to take a third of my KCBs, and I'm going to get some shares. I'm going to take a third, and the other 2/3 I'm going to convert to KBCs, and then I will split that in two, and I'll take the one half and perhaps change it over into gold or whatever I want to do with it, trade it, or so that will be creating another alternative stream of income. And then I'm going to leave some KBCs there, let them just sit there and grow in value and increase. So I have multiple streams and multiple sources and multiple avenues of growth. At least that's my decision for me, Michael.
I think that is very important that you say that we are not financial advisors, though some persons on the calls may very well be. There are some persons who
Oh,
are
yeah.
Caritas affiliates and are in the financial industry, but we don't
Yep.
know. All we can do is let them know what the options are. And
Yep.
we could probably talk about what we do, but their
Yes.
goals and their strategies may be different.
That's right.
Some persons
That's
may
right.
want to, but of course, we from being speaking to financial advisors, we know that it's always important to have something in the kitty, to have something long
That's
term,
right. That's right. That's right.
right? So even if we
That's
have
right.
10% in shares, it might be important. Some persons may say, listen, I want to have liquidity in everything. So they convert everything to KBCs, and when the banking system is introduced and they may want to liquidate that, well,
Mm-hmm.
it's up to them. But is that wise financial planning? I don't know. I cannot say. But all I know is that we have the options, and nobody is, the company is not putting a gun to our heads as to what we should do. We have the choice. We could consult with our advisors, or if we have our
Yeah.
own strategies, we can follow the same. So, do
Yes.
you have any other slides to share?
Yes, I have. We have update as well from Madrid that came out as well, where we have a new website that's been brought out called carrotnews.org,
Oh,
and
that's great
this
news.
this is going to be a portal where you can get all your information and news of all the developments that's taking place in the carrot ecosystem. You're gonna see about the phones and the laptop and the coins, the whim. You know, you're gonna see a lot of information coming on. You can already go to the site and check it out, but make sure to subscribe now. You see on the top right hand corner there, top news, subscribe now. So it's something where it will work with a subscription. So you put in your email address, of course, or your email address, and you subscribe, and they will, as often as it's renewed or new stuff information come out, they will email you either a link or the document itself. So that's one great development. So a lot of people oftentimes say, where I don't know what's happening, I'm not plugged in. You have no reason or no excuse not to be plugged in now. It's right at your door.
One of the interesting things I noticed here as you have this up, and to be honest, I didn't really notice it before. In addition to subscribing via email, one can also follow on the various forms of social media on Twitter,
That's right.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube,
Yes.
and even LinkedIn.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes,
so once there's an update, man, we can get it in whichever platform we most.
yes. And in whatever language as well. Because I'm seeing you have the option, you have it in German or Dutch, you know. And you also
Okay.
have categories there: home, business, gold, devices, media center. So there's a lot of categories. You could go specifically to what you want to look for. You get the information on it.
Plus, what I like about this too, it is generic information. From the
Yes.
time I read this, I was able to share it with not only my affiliates,
Mm-hmm.
but also persons who I've spoken to before and wanted to get more information about Caribas. It is good. It's not. It doesn't speak about any hype or anything about income or anything like that. This basically
Right.
speaks about the products and services of the company. So it is a great tool.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We have other news. I don't have slides necessarily for them. I don't know if you have slides, Mike, but we had some other
Yeah,
developments take place
sure. I have a.
in okay. So well I'm gonna hand over to you and then I'll come back with some questions pending at the end.
Okay, no problem. I'll just go. I have them in bullet form, so we can just speak through them quickly. We have
Right,
the time as well.
right.
Uh,
So you can take over the sharing of the screen. Where's Larry? Is he still there?
I'm just taking in all the notes, guys, taking in everything. I'm just having my coffee while you guys are talking. So I'm having my late afternoon coffee while you guys are just going through your thing.
Oh, I thought you were having a siesta. I saw all that Spanish music at the start
Well, you know what?
and
With
Madrid.
all these updates that you're going in, I don't think it's easy to have a siesta at this point in time because you'll probably be having, in some cases, well, hope not a bad thing, but good palpitations, right?
Okay, great, great. Michael, we hand it off to you. Yeah, Mike, it's yours now.
Sorry, I didn't. I muted myself.
Okay.
Apologies. Right. So here are some of the major updates that came out of the Madrid conference that took place in Spain. There's a statement I heard some time ago about the rain in Spain, but I can't remember it. I don't think it's appropriate right now.
Mhm.
But we got a lot of rain in announcements. Wow, this is what as I said at the start, was a bit mind blowing. See where the company has
Mhm.
reached. Of course, we spoke at the start of the official exchange rate of KCB to the new KBC. Now, one of the things that is important, as we stated before, and probably didn't mention this, but one of the reasons why we need to do this before the 4th of January is because the new KBC would need to have information on its circulating supply.
Yes,
So
important.
on the 5th of January, the the crypto community would need to get that information before they can set the price. So whatever KCBs needs to be converted to KBCs needs to be done before the 4th of January. It's very
Important.
important. It is
Yes.
extremely important. So on one stage, of course, we'll talk about what we need to do to make sure that we're there. But
Yeah.
that is one of the things we were told that we're going
Yes.
to have that, and of course, we'll get the new price of KBC.
Right.
We have, of course, the launch of the crypto banking business as part of
Hmm.
the gold standard bank, right? So in
Mhm.
addition to the gold standard bank going public, the bank will also be operating in business centers around the world where persons can actually
Hmm.
go and convert crypto to fiat. And in fact, we can have bank cards because it's a bank. Banks offer bank
Mhm.
cards, so it's obvious, right?
Yes.
So that we can then have the use of these cards to purchase goods and services wherever we may need to worldwide. Of course, they'll make all of the relevant partnerships to make that happen. So we can
Mhm.
then, with the banking system, of course, in addition complementing the current bit exchange and even the K merchant platform, we can then withdraw cryptos to fiat currency.
Oh.
When doing these conversions in Caribbean and also in K Merchant, you need to have a financial agent or financial service in which to do that transaction, and the Gold Standard Bank will actually be doing that. And of
Right.
course, we also be able to visit banking locations, and we can also pick up gold in some of these locations through the Gold Standard Bank. So
Bring
this
me
is of
my
course
armored truck.
complementing.
Bring me my
This is
armored
complement.
truck.
And what just comes to mind actually as I'm speaking this, literally speaking, is that you've seen different movies where people enter banks, and you'd have seen this in Spider-Man 2 actually, when Dr. Octopus went to the vault in the bank, and he started to grab, uh, attack the vault and try to take gold. He was taking coins as well. You'd have also seen this in Die Hard 2, I think it
Yes.
was. Yeah, and when they go to the vaults in the banks, and that's where they have the gold. So obviously, we have a bank, we find gold in the bank. There we go. And of course, we're going to have some more integration of Carrot Pay or Carrot Pay platform into the blockchain. So we have blockchain integration with the Carrot Pay wallet. This opens up some additional avenues. Because once you have the Carrot Pay, the blockchain integration, Carrot Pay was launched since 2016 with the company. That's before blockchain. We didn't have a blockchain. Up to this point in time, it is basically operating off the internet. And there may have been some issues with when we have the servers getting overloaded and so on. With some transactions had to be lost. And in fact, support had to step in to help many people who complain of missing coins. And once they got the screenshots to confirm, they were able to get the coins restored.
Right.
But it happened because they're not on a blockchain. Once we're on a blockchain, every transaction is, of course, multiplied in many locations around the world. So you would not have any lost transactions in this case. Okay, so we would have more secure transactions with Carrot Pay.
Right.
Of course, the gold mining business is going to be accelerated. 3 kilograms per day.
Wow. What does that do for the KBC?
Some gold. Well, let's just put it this way. Our gold is backing up the value of our KBCs. Some mines actually can reach 1 kilogram per week or month. You know what it takes to get 3 kilograms per day? Of course, this adds to the value of our coins. As we know, our KBC coins is backed or linked to the value of gold. Right. So it is like a running stop loss where the average cryptocurrency is not backed by anything. Not only our coins, but our ecosystem is backed by the value of gold. Right. The more gold we have, the more stable our economy. And this is amazing. It's like a country. We have our economy.
Yep.
I hope I'm being compliant in that statement. But it is basically backing up the ecosystem. Essentially, that's what it is. Yes. And what is actually taking us not just to a higher level, but to the sky. We're going to have some new technologies due to partnerships and special business relationships with other companies, such as, I think it is autonomous
flight technologies.
Yes. Yes. So just as how we have our strategic alliance with crypto data, and out of that we have the K1 Impulse phone and the WIM laptop. Right. We're actually going to have some innovations in form of taking blockchains to vehicles, taking the blockchain to vehicles.
Yes.
We have blockchain in cars. And even
global coverage.
Mobile coverage. Yes. Through our own, launching a satellite that would be within our control, within our ecosystem as well. We are taking this, well, I can say to the moon, but at least we're taking it
to the clouds, orbit. Above the clouds.
So this, yes. So our ecosystem is actually going into the clouds. And this is amazing and incredible. And of course, we're going to get some more details in all of these things in the team huddle, which starts at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 10 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, which is our time zone, right? And we'll get some more details into some of this, but we're just giving you the highlights. But one of the things to note, when thinking of an IPO, when a company is going to launch on the stock exchange, one would normally have to take into consideration what are the products and services that this company is offering. What sort of growth is expected for
Mm-hmm.
this company? Would the tools that they
Mm-hmm.
present would they be needed? What is the growth potential for the company? And those are the things that investors will ask before determining whether to obtain some shares in the company.
That's
So of
right. That's
course,
right.
our company is poised. Yeah. Of course, with the innovations in the blockchain, this is really going into to have more uses than traditional uses. People have been talking
Mm-hmm.
about satellites in vehicles for some time.
Mm-hmm.
We know, for those who live in large countries, when you're driving from state to state, for example, and listening to a radio station, you lose coverage because it's just terrestrial, and
Yep.
hence you had a terrestrial radio which was launched, right? I think it was Sirius, and
Yes.
after Sirius was launched, satellite applications really became serious.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Mm-hmm.
listen to a station whichever part of the country you're in, and
Right.
we're taking that now to the blockchain. This is amazing and incredible. The
Mm-hmm.
security of this
Mm-hmm.
as well. Persons talk about we've seen some science fiction shows with people taking remote control of vehicles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how much science fiction that really is. We just saw some in I think it was the recent one of the Fast and Furious movies, Fast and Furious
Right.
8, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where there's this hacker took control of all the vehicles in a city. Well, they
Yeah.
didn't have the blockchain, I think.
Right. 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 And you know, it's so
Yeah.
important to understand the blockchain because, and don't forget, with combining all this, if you are a developer, you have the opportunity to develop apps and applications that you can
Oh
put
yes.
onto your phones and onto the laptop. So if you're into the developer and
Mm-hmm.
technology development, you can
Mm-hmm.
also have additional. So listen, this is more than just, when I joined Carabas, somebody told me, well, it's that's just another small company, a little thing, a little business. Wow, this
Mm-hmm.
ain't no
Mm-hmm.
little business. This ain't no
Hmm.
little business. And
Sure, right.
we are privileged to be at the cusp of such developing technologies at a time where the
Mm-hmm.
world needs a solution for a lot of the problems that they presently exist. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
So with
I
all of
feel
this
for a
information,
blockchain. I feel for a blockchain burger.
all right, that'd be awesome. And we can have all you can
Yeah.
eat with that, especially as we go to the
Ah,
initial public offering. That is definitely something we can take a bite out of. And as
yes,
stated before,
definitely.
we have the first issue, the first options to get these shares. So if
Mm-hmm.
you knew that the Apple shares would be as high as it is now, or the Facebook shares, how much would you
Mm-hmm.
get if you were to go back in time? Here is your
Mm-hmm.
chance, right? You
You
can,
know,
here's your chance to go into the DeLorean or the TARDIS and make that choice.
right. Mike, as you said, Apple, and I noticed it was not on the list there, but also what was announced was the ability to have franchises by
Oh,
July.
yes,
New
absolutely.
franchises. So you
Mm-hmm,
could, just like the Apple has Apple stores all over the world in different
mm-hmm,
places, even
mm-hmm.
Trinidad, even in other countries, you could
Yes.
have franchise stores for the Whim and the K1,
And
right? I think their goal is to have 100 shops in 2020. That was
wow, this is
announced.
amazing. And one of the
So
things, the
so
neat things about this, if one of the persons who owns, well, of course, once there's a franchise, someone goes in and wants the phone service, they sign up to be a customer. They want to get a laptop, they sign up to be a customer. Whatever product, they sign up.
yeah,
And when they do sign
yeah.
up, even as customers, if the franchise holder is in your team, what does that mean for your business?
Ah, wow, 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 wow. Whew, this is too much, Mike.
That's,
Yeah, yeah,
of course, we also spoke about yes, that's right. So this is incredible, and that's what I said. That's part of the reason why my mind was just blown with some of this information, and definitely shows the strength of this company as we move forward, and the
Mhm.
strength of this IPO. We expect it to go places, as the chart shows in the diagram there. We expect it to keep growing high, and knowing
Yeah.
the company as long as I have. the company has always been about innovation and growth. And we don't expect that trend to stop anytime soon. Right?
Right. Right.
So,
So I
so
have one
with
more
all of
slide.
this, and go ahead,
So I
go
will
ahead. Now let me stop sharing
but
before I go
right.
to that. Go ahead.
Okay.
Mhm.
So so just some questions that may be pending in people's minds
Mhm.
that the company is quite aware of, and we need to know that because it's a developing company and it's growing, it's not static, it's dynamic. There are a lot of things that are happening. So we have questions that are still pending on people's minds. Like for example, the delivery of the
Mhm.
phones and computers. We know that they already began delivering. In fact, those who are at the event in Madrid had the opportunity to pick up their phones at the event as well. And there were persons who already started showing off their phones, right? So we know the phones are real and it's already delivery is taking place. They just resolved the issue they had with moving it from one country to Germany, and now they're in the process of that delivery taking place. The computers will be delivered in February of next year, right? We have bonus univals and persons asking about bonus univals from late earlier incentives that maybe in limbo. They are still going to resolve all these things. Coins that may be in limbo, they are going to resolve all these things. Then we have the capital
In fact, I
control.
think
Go ahead.
just before moving on to that, particularly with bonus univals and also things in limbo. While we stated that the KCBs, we have a timeline for KCBs to be converted by the 4th of January, we actually have 6 months to move KBCs, that's the ERC20 KBCs, to
Mm-hmm.
the KBC and mainnet. And part of the
Right.
reason for that length of time is because we have coins in limbo. We have the situation with Martin Steinberg where we had stolen coins, which we're trying to recover
Right.
to the correct owners. And we
Right.
have persons who have coins in multiple exchanges around the world. And
Right.
so we will have some time to roll out the CarrotNet blockchain into the various other exchanges, and for
Yes.
those KBCs, the old KBCs, to be converted to new ones. So
Right.
as you said there,
Mm-hmm.
it's taking some time to go through some of this information, and that
Mm-hmm.
6 months is more than enough time to.
Right. And then we have also capital controls where there's 1 gram per day conversions, right? That was temporarily disabled for the whole process of what they've been doing with the hard fork to take place, but that will be back up and running. Um, we also have the option to have gold shipped instead of waiting for CM. Some persons have been asking, can they have their gold shipped instead of waiting for a CM machine? And they are aware of this. And
And they're
of course,
working
they're
on.
working to provide solutions to all these challenges. Michael?
Yeah, I just said so. Yeah, they're working on that.
Yeah, yeah, right. We have master node payouts also. There's a documentation that was sent in your back office when you go to general downloads, terms and conditions. You're going to see the last 2 documents have all the information regarding the master node payouts as well, and the hard fork process that was involved. You can get those documents right in your back office, right? And I just want to say, as I say that, this is why it's so important to stay plugged in. Stay plugged in. Check persons check their account every day or every week in fiat. This is no different. Stay connected because this is your financial business. We also have technical glitches with card pay that has been occurring. And again, with the integration of card pay into the blockchain, those glitches are going to be resolved. There are resolutions that are being worked on. Then we have a commission structure that's also being developed for K Merchant. We're going to hear more about that in the coming new year. And then we have the Golden New Year, which was I believe it was considered the Gold New Year because of the fact that there would have been the ability to convert 75 KBCs to 1 gram of gold. I think those things are still being initiated and worked on. And and then we have and this is why it's so important to have patience with the process of what's happening, because there's so much happening, right? They need our help. The company needs our help with this vision, to bring this vision to pass, to let all these things take place. Also, we need to give ourselves time to succeed, to come into this full success. Nothing happens overnight. This is not a get rich quick business. I'm sorry. If you want to get rich quick business, in Trinidad we say play way, right? Right? Something else, play a lotto or something, but this is not a get rich quick. This is something that will give you true value, and this value will come over time. And so this is why it's so important to keep your feet on the ground and your eyes on the horizon, or as we would just say now, above the clouds. So, Mike, I
Yes.
think you had something you want to do, so I'll send it back to you.
Okay, no problem. And I think one that last comment as well, it's important as well, based on our last call, to not be ground doves. So yes, I'm gonna do a quick share as
That's right. That's right. That's right. It's so important. Right. I'm seeing we have over 35 participants on the call tonight. Great. Great. I love it. That's good. I commend you all for taking interest in your business. Mike. Mike, you're muted.
sorry about that. Yeah,
Okay.
of course, on the International Power Up webinar series, over the past month, we have consistently been sharing with persons about the importance of linking our Carrot Bars accounts with our Carrot Bit accounts, right? You can go to some of the previous videos on that, but in a summary, if you never logged into Carrot Bit before, you would need to create an account by signing in, creating an account. If you had logged in before, but more than 3 months ago, most likely your account would already be linked, but you wouldn't have the password. You would have to reset the password, create your two-factor authentication, but make sure that the accounts are linked. If the accounts are not linked, your KCB coins will remain in your dashboard and will not move. And if the KCB coins are not in the Carrot Bit exchange beyond the 4th of January, by default, they will just be considered shares in the IPO, right? So we have to ensure that is done before the 4th of January 2020. And we did see
Right.
before that the decision on which ratio to exchange, whether to exchange for KBCs or vouchers, it's an individual choice.
Decision.
Yeah, we did mention as well too that the Impulse phones are in the basement in Germany, and they're currently preparing to send them over the holidays, during the holidays, these seasons, and into January to persons around the world. All right, so that is also in progress. I think that is basically a snapshot there. Of course, for those who wants to get more details on these and many other items, we have coming up next at 10 p.m. American Standard Time or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the Nitanakos and the Synergy Gold team, that team huddle, which take place every Monday evening. They are going to go into some more details about many of the things we spoke about there. We just gave you the highlights, and we'll
Yep.
give you some more there. So I'll just end by giving a quick uh, example of what we do and looking in the of the of logging into the Carpet Exchange and what to do to
Right.
convert these coins, because I haven't done any myself.
Right.
All right.
And
So tell
and
me if
go
you're
ahead.
still seeing the screen, right? You're still seeing
Yes.
the screen? Okay.
Yep.
Right. I think this was up for some time, so I may have to just relog in to make sure.
Right. So Larry, as Michael doing that, you have any comments?
Well, quite a lot of stuff would have been said, but one of the things I want to revisit with what Michael would have said is the ERC20 tokens. And I may possibly want to play the devil's advocate, Mike, and beg to disagree with maybe a few things that you possibly would have said. And listen to what I would have said. Now, while we do have 6 months for persons who have the ERC20 tokens on the MyEther wallet, would it not make sense to convert your or move your your KBC coins from your MyEther wallet now before? Because if you wait until 6 months, you would not be able to benefit from the 2.54 conversion rate. So I beg to defer that it should be done
Oh,
before so that we can get that. So I'm just playing the devil's advocate to let you know
Larry,
that.
the 2.5. Yeah. All right, understood. And I know some people may be a little bit confused with that.
That's
So
why
it's
I'm
very
asking
good
you
that you
like
brought
that
that up.
so that you can
Right.
bring it up and
Yes.
explain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you very
Yep.
much, Larry. And that's very true. The 2.5 ratio applies only to KCBs. The KBCs that we have from the pre-ICO all the way back to February and March 2018 are being moved to the new mainnet at 1-to-1 value. So if you
That's
have
right.
500 old KBCs, you're going to have 500 new KBCs. It's the same, so there's going to be no change
Wonderful. I actually knew that, but I needed to ask that sort of,
in
questionable
that way.
question
Agreed.
in that way because somebody might probably come and ask you that, or they might be thinking about it on the call and mightn't be sure how to ask it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think
So
that's
what?
important.
So what will happen to my KBCs that I have outside?
Yeah.
That's a good
So
point. That's a good question now as well.
the KBCs that you have outside will still be available outside. They will still be traded on whatever exchanges they may be on.
Right.
And when you move them to the Caribbean exchange, or actually, from what the company is saying, I may be wrong, but I think that once the mainnet is moved into all of those other exchanges, the changes
That's
can
right.
actually take place in those exchanges as well.
Integration. That's right. Yes, integration will take place. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is I think while we're waiting on Mike to do this, I think one of the other points we must reiterate, guys, is the importance that 2020 for all of us who are on this call, because I see we have about 38 participants, and hats off to you guys for being here. Really do
Yeah.
appreciate the fact that you guys are here, especially
Oh,
those from the USA as well. It's really good to have you guys on. I think it's important to keep the main thing the main thing. And the main thing for those of us who really want to build this business is we need to focus on expanding our community. There's so much happening in the world of Carabas and by extension, the crypto world, but we need to keep the main thing the main thing. So, Mike, back over to you.
Okay, so I am experiencing something that I believe some of you guys may also experience. I am not actually seeing the option to exchange on my account, right? But I think this is
yeah.
something that may actually be covered by Nita Nakos in her call because just before I came, I was speaking to somebody else and they have already done their conversions. So why is it
Yeah.
happening on some and not on others? Maybe something we would get some answers to shortly. So don't be too alarmed. This is a temporary situation.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will all be able to get that soon.
And
But of
of
course, the
course,
information that, yeah,
I think
yep,
what
the
was actually
information
said
that,
is Kellyanne was saying maybe we need to clear your cookies and clear your cache as well on your browser, or maybe use a different
oh,
browser.
very good point.
But and
Very good point.
what I will say is earlier today, my screen looked just like yours until this evening, whilst others since morning had the stuff on. I didn't have to clear anything, but what I also want to say is just the possibilities that they're dealing with over 700,000 accounts, and most of the times it's a manual process involved in some of these integrations, so that could just very well be the possibility that they just haven't reached letter A yet.
Yeah, yeah, but Kellyanne, and of course, Kellyanne's advice is, I
Yes,
believe, very
yes,
much, yeah,
yes,
All
yes.
right. So we're
right.
just about
So,
10 minutes after the hour, guys. Any final
yep.
closing
So,
comments? I know we shared quite a lot of information here. The call is recorded and it's going to be posted out in the next maybe hour or two. I should have it out for you guys so that you can actually review this. Any final closing comments for you guys based on, I know there was a lot to say, a lot that has been said, and we're going to probably be getting more and more stuff with Nitsanakos coming up.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I think too. I'll go first. I think I'll leave
Well,
the king to go last. Yeah, and there it is. You're quite right. I hit Shift F5. By the way, this is a tip. There's a tip and trick as well. I hit Shift F5 on my keyboard to refresh the screen and click hash at the same time. And here we have the exchange button that comes up immediately.
There you go.
Great.
There you go.
And of
Great.
course, everything that Pastor Carlos spoke about before does apply. So this is
Awesome.
where we do our
Awesome.
exchange,
Thank you,
right? So
Kellyanne.
thank you
Yeah,
very much, Kellyanne. Appreciate it.
absolutely.
In fact, Kellyanne, I want to publicly invite you to join us on another call in the future as well. We
Absolutely. I
love
think
to have some
I
chats.
wanna actually invite Kelly, and if she really wants to, maybe add some closing comments as soon as you guys wrap up. Hopefully, if she can do it, it'll be good to have you. Give us your final closing comments.
Yeah. So I would just say that Caribas is a solid company. This is not a fly by night. This is not a scam. To use the word scam is so just incredulous that people still think about it this way. If
Mhm.
it just shows the ignorance of what they know about the company. The company is on a solid footing. The company has sponsored a whole football team composed of many of the Spain and international football stars. The company has strategic partnerships with autonomous and other companies to go take us with have our own satellite system, our own ecosystem, and have everything stable. Our own banking system going on the stock exchange as well. So, folks, we have something that is not only stable but is growing, and we will be known internationally. So we are in the right place at the right time. Tell your friends, your family, and those you care about the program, and ensure that we continue to save the same. This whole system is based on gold, and we should save our own economy in gold as well. That's my comment. Over to you, Carlos.
Good night, everyone, again. And I just want to say that, there's a saying once that if someone wins a lottery, that oftentimes he's still as poor as he was before he won the lottery, because wealth is not just the accumulation or the ability to increase in assets, but it's also a way of thinking, a pattern of thinking. And I want to say that as we see what's happening with Carrot Bars going into the future, we have to prepare our minds also to go into the future. I want to challenge you tonight with a question. What is your 2020 going to look like? What envision do you have envision in your mentality for your financial growth next year, for your wealth building next year? What are some of your goals and your dreams and your aspirations? And I know I should be really telling you this next week, but I just felt that it's so important for you to, as we're talking on the topic of getting so much sources of income and wealth, that you begin to appreciate and also prepare your mind, prepare our minds. We need to prepare our minds. We need to get our minds moving so that it wouldn't have no explosion and have to be taking up brain pieces when we get these kind of situations. We need to really, develop foresight and develop a mentality that can handle the wealth, so that when it comes, we will not be as we were before. So I'm just saying, I'm encouraging, I'm challenging, and I'm warning you all. And as I'm telling myself, that we all have to move our mindsets to the place where the future is already. God bless.
Thank you so much, King Carlos. Thank you so much, Michael Amann, for sharing your updates, for giving your perspective. I think it was very much needed. And thank God this call is actually being recorded. I want to thank you so much, guys, for your yeoman service towards this community and your leadership and your style in terms of what you offer. And for that, we are truly grateful. I want to thank each and every one of you for being on this call on the eve just before Christmas Eve, because Christmas is truly an amazing time. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not is not the issue. It is truly a magical time of the year. It's a time to reset, to look at your goals, as King Carlos would have spoken about. We will be talking about this next week. So just remember, for the balance of the week, we have no more Zoom calls. We reconvene next week, the eve before All Year's Eve, you could say, literally speaking. And we're going to be doing quite a lot of introspection in terms of our final call for 2019. So you do want to miss that call next week, Monday. We're going to really it's going to be an extended call. It's going to be at least way past an hour. We give you the opportunity as well to give your final thoughts about 2019, what it has done for you, not just about Carrot Bars, but what that year has done for you. What have you learned from 2019? What are the lessons that you will take from 2019 moving into 2020? What are some of the things you're not going to do? What are some of the income producing activities you will sustain in 2020? So, on behalf of myself and my family, and by extension, I'm going to actually call back Michael and King Carlos. I want to truly wish you a truly Merry Christmas, because it's a special time of the year. It's a magical time of the year. It's a time to reset. Hit that reset button, guys. I don't know if Kellyanne, if you are available, I would definitely love to have you on and say something. So I'm actually going to try and put you on the spot. If you are in a position to unmute your mic, can you unmute your mic? Don't know if Kellyanne can actually do that.
Yes, I can.
Okay, Kelly, good. I can hear you. So good night to you. Good to have you on the call. And thank you for so much for your support by being on these calls. How are you?
I am good, thank you. Good night, everyone. And when
Good
we
night. Good night.
time here in the United States, we're trying to say at the end, we say it, not in the beginning. So
Right,
Mhm.
right.
am I talking in the beginning or in the end? You know, you guys, I just really appreciate you putting me on here. I've been around a long time with carrot bars, so I'm going to tell you right now, I'm excited about everything that's going on and how we've developed, and now we are so operational again, and we keep doing it again and again and again. And I am so grateful, especially now that we are involved with crypto, because quite honestly, I was on top of that way back, in the day. And so I came back, to Carrot Bars. I have a love for Carrot Bars International, and everything that you guys do. You guys are doing a great job out there. I hear everything you say. I watch everything you say. I'm glad you're here, and I support you all the way. Everyone here.
Thank you so much, Kelly. And
Thank you.
definitely 2020 is going to be an amazing year. We look forward to doing some work with you as well.
Awesome, you bet.
Absolutely. So Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Thank you. Same to you.
All right. So Pastor Carlos and Michael, I'll give you at least 60 seconds each to give your Christmas greetings before we close off this amazing Zoom call. Go right ahead, Sam.
Okay, Christmas. While we talk about business, it's time for family, time for loved ones. They are the reason why we are doing this. Go hug your families, get in touch with your friends, not just talk to them about caravans, but show them that you love them. Yes, and a blessed Christmas and rest of the year to everyone on the call.
Thank you so much, Mike. King Carlos.
Well, I just want to wish every person here a time of light, a time of hope, a time of peace that will not just stay at this time, but will spill over into your new year and into the days to come, that you and your family and your loved ones will experience